This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll, as always. It is so great to have you with us. Topping news, work crews are continuing the preliminary work for the multi-million-dollar causeway at the fishing hole. But ahead of this massive undertaking, provisions must be made for motorists traversing that major thoroughfare. Sabrina Brown tells us more.
Heavy equipment operators are busy constructing a bypass road at the fishing hole, which motorists will use to travel in and out of West Grand Bahama, while the multi-million-dollar causeway is being built.
The road is 2,300 feet long and will basically connect the existing fishing hole road from the start of the turn in Freeport all the way up to the roundabout. To the amount of the traffic here, what we see on a daily basis, this road needs to be constructed in a proper way to complement the heavy traffic from the container port and from the shipyard downtown or to the harbor area.
All Bahamas Construction Company has been awarded the contract for the massive project. President Wolfgang Geiger explains the extent of the work being carried out on the alternate road.
We have to move more material what we have expected, because on the Freeport side, as well as also on the roundabout side, on the western side, it's the material more stable, and there's right underneath our limestone base. Over the Hawksbill Creek, there's some areas which is little caverns and also some muddy organic material what needs to be moved away and get replaced with some structural fill.
Work on the alternate road was started about 3 weeks ago and is expected to be completed within the next 2 months. Geiger tells us what will happen next.
After this road will be finished, we have to relocate the entire infrastructure, the power poles, the power lines, as well as the Cable Bahamas and Patelco's line.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Grand Bahama Health Services partnering with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization to make history in the Caribbean. For the next 8 weeks, the Rand Memorial Hospital will be evaluating its services as officials work towards improving the overall level of care on this island. Megan Shepard explains.
The Grand Bahama Health Services creating history in the Caribbean as they undertake their latest program geared toward bettering their service, a transformational healthcare pilot study. According to Hospital Administrator Sharon Williams, the team here on island has teamed up with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization to improve the healthcare experience from hello to goodbye.
Initially, we will be looking at improvement of services in our inpatient care program within the hospital, but eventually this program will expand to our clinical services in our primary health care clinics and our community clinics.
Consultant with the Ministry of Health, Dr. Desiree Cox, says that the plan is to focus on key inflection points in the system, which will in turn result in an overall improved system. She notes that this is an exciting time for the entire Grand Bahama Health Services as they lead the way in healthcare.
There's nothing like it or no particular intervention like it going on in the Caribbean. So that's the first thing. So we are making history with this. The second thing to say is we know that we're doing that, and so we have, the process has got IRB approval, that's ethics approval, which means that the data we create from this will be publishable.
Dr. Khalif Philippe of the Ministry of Health says the new program is all about people-centered healthcare. 40 observers, all employees of the GB Health Services, have been trained to interact with the patients to create a snapshot of what the system currently looks like and learn what can be improved on.
We want to find out how we're doing. Our observers will be talking to our nurses and physicians to find out what kind of care and service that they're being provided as well. And then the goodbye is where the patient expectation survey is being done, where we're asking the patient about their expectation, the services that were provided. We're also taking a snapshot of all of the discharge documents.
Dr. Cox notes that it was important to involve the staff that are present at the hospital 24/7 and allow them the opportunity to be involved in shaping a better system with evidence-based planning.
They might be nurses, ambulance drivers, pharmacists, dietitians, all across the board. And we've trained them to observe and reflect and evaluate their own system. So they are working as observers over these 8 weeks. But they'll be walking around with iPads so that the data they collect is digital immediately. It goes straight into the PHA server, so the data is encrypted, it's protected, so there's no chance of that data kind of getting out into, it's not public data. It means immediately from our places in Nassau, we can see what's going on within that system.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, Bahamians are gearing up for the June 7th gender equality referendum, as many still seek answers on the 4 bills. One member of parliament is doing her part to ensure that the facts are presented. The educational campaign was taken to a joint Rotary meeting where those in attendance were told why they should vote yes on all 4 bills. She is passionate about the upcoming referendum and says every opportunity she gets to speak to residents, she tells them why it is important for them to vote yes. Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner, while addressing the Rotary clubs on Grand Bahama, says that there are many misconceptions attached to some of these bills.
The third question is to allow single Bahamian men, with proof of course, and you know how they do DNA testing now and make sure that you really, the daddy is the daddy, and you know, absolutely. So that's the third question. So are we going to allow our Bahamian men to be full participants in their children's lives by allowing even single males to have the privilege of passing citizenship on?
And perhaps the center of most of the controversy, she says, is Bill number 4, the bill that seeks to end discrimination based on sex, whether male or female.
When a boy or a girl is born, it is put on their birth certificate, male or female. I don't care how many changes you have done. I don't care if you even change your name. I don't care that you're a man dressed up as a woman. At the end of the day, you can't get a new birth certificate, okay? You've got to go on the birth certificate of what you were born. And if that fails, you know, there are chromosomes, biologically, that make the difference between male and females. So it doesn't matter what's nipped, what's tucked, what's cut, what's added, what's ever. Believe you me, you're born a man, you're a man.
She says now is the time for all Bahamians to take a stand for something that will impact generations to come.
This one is for our boys, our girls, and our country.
Rotarians say this thought-provoking presentation was needed as it cleared up questions, and for one Rotarian, it could make a huge difference in her family.
She was able to answer questions based on fact, not based on her opinion.
And anyone that still seems to misunderstand hasn't really listened, because it's all written, has been said, so let it be done.
Yes, they are personal to me, with my daughter being married to a Bahamian who happens to be born in Italy. And so, yeah, for me, it will give my daughter and my granddaughter some rights, as well as my son-in-law, the right to be a part of this beautiful Bahamas.
In other news, the beaches around the country are what attract many tourists to our shores, but the state of one beach on Grand Bahama left a visitor and a resident concerned about the cleanliness of this island.
It's something you rarely see, but a Brazilian tourist, Solange Amagor, took the initiative to clean up garbage around the island. She came across items like pots, glass bottles, a toilet, tires, plastic plates, a washing machine, and much more. The visitor is encouraging all persons on the island to use a bin to put their garbage in at all times instead of littering.
My concern is the nature itself, because if you have everything covered, they won't breathe. You must preserve the nature. If you don't want to die with the nature, help it. Do yourself your part, because I think it's my duty to preserve the nature. It's your duty, it's our duty. The nature doesn't have nationality.
Gary Simmons of Basra happened to be passing by and stopped to assist.
I drive this road every day, and it seems whenever anybody leaves the beach, they just throw all their garbage out on this little stretch of road. So as fast as they clean it up, it's right back. And I came past here today and met this young lady in the bushes dragging out garbage, so I couldn't let her do it on her own, so we got started.
Simmons adding that bottles left around with stagnant water causes mosquitoes, and glass bottles can cause brush fires as well.
It's just way too much. Everywhere you go, you see garbage. On the reef, you see garbage. In the canal, you see garbage. Every time the wind blows, the canals are full of garbage. We have to stop somewhere, and it takes someone to come from another country to come here and realize that we've made such a mess of our own country that we need help cleaning it up. So as a people, we need to start.
Sanitation Services was called to the area and could be seen providing trash bags and taking away the garbage that was collected. It's Halia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, there's more news right after the break.